Hi world, how you all doing? Today you're going to see an exorcism in action. How bizarre. Though, you probably the only reference point you have for exorcism is the movie The Exorcist, which is really quite extreme, to say the least. However, after doing this for 10 years or so, the techniques that we've developed are not extreme at all. There's nothing difficult about it. It's nothing painful. It's actually really quite simple and straightforward. So please put away all preconceptions you have about exorcism. Now, if you're in the spiritual milieu, you might know about pain bodies or negative entities or something like that. And they're just one type of demon that penetrate the body. And it's my theory that all mental health issues are caused by demonic interference. Now, this girl doesn't have a big diagnosis. She's not like, she's not deeply schizophrenic or painfully bipolar or anything like that. And her life has been a story of depression and maybe some drugs and maybe some difficulty with launching and finding the right job and being happy and poor relationships. There's nothing strictly that screams there's another spirit there. However, what you'll discover during this episode is the influence of different spirits who've been in her the whole time and have caused that kind of lifestyle. The general pain that this girl's been through is alleviated incredibly by this work. Now, what you'll see first is the after effects, so how she feels afterwards. And that story is really worth listening to. It's really amazing just how many impacts it has on her life. Just how many ways taking these spirits away makes her feel better. But then the second part of this story is the actual performance of the exorcism. And this is perfectly typical of what you can expect in a session with me. These are normal results. This is standard work for me. I do this day in, day out. Pursue this and you will see the secret source of misery, the secret source of your pain, your sadness, your anger, your depression, whatever your thing is. But this work here is exactly what causes those sorts of feelings. But watch the video. It'll explain a lot within itself, but this is just standard, typical stuff. Exorcism doesn't have to look like this movie. It is that simple, straightforward. Thank you. So good morning, good evening, and good night to different parts of the world. How are you girls today?
Wonderful, thank you.
I'm doing good.
Yeah. So this is 1 week on after we did our session together, Casey. And I'm really dying to know how you're feeling. What's your thought of the whole process? Anything you want to say?
I'm feeling great. I honestly feel like a completely different person. Like I feel like 10 years younger. I don't know how to explain it really in like full detail, but it's just a feeling I never thought I would get back again.
Yeah. Look, I did it for myself, and it's the best gift I can ever give someone. But like, be more specific. What else is going on for you? Like, what are some of the things that are different that changed over the last week?
Well, I feel like I can breathe. Like I remember I was telling you during our session, it was like as if there was some type of cage around my chest that was just getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and it's not there anymore. I feel like I can breathe. I feel like I can think clearly.
Yeah. Is your
I'm
head
not so
space?
indecisive.
Oh, okay.
I'm naturally indecisive in ways, but I'm not as indecisive as I was. And I don't know, it's just everything looks brighter, everything feels brighter. I don't feel like something's holding me back, or there's no point of trying this because it's just going to happen again and it's never going to work, stuff like that.
Wow. So it sounds like a totally new lease on life.
Yeah, basically. I couldn't thank you enough, and thank you, Mom, so much.
Yeah, you do look fresher. You look younger, actually. Like
I feel younger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Like I even noticed like physical, like some physical things, like my eyelashes were I don't know why, but my eyes have been so swollen. Even my mom had noticed my eyes were just different after the session. And my eyelashes were, so for some reason when I put on mascara, my eyelashes would go two different ways. And now they're like completely perfectly straight up. Like they're not going the different ways anymore.
Well, look, if that's not important, what is? You know, like if it's, that's isn't the thing that keeps you awake at night. I don't know what would.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, no, you are. I mean, everybody says like there's 101 little things that they're just not sure what to share about, you know?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but I have got a couple of questions, right? Like one, like normally we have the same 200 thoughts that we think over and over again. Our neural pathways are really quite comfortable where they are. Have you
Mhm.
had a change in that? Are you hearing new thoughts in your head?
Well, my thoughts aren't as disturbed because I was having a lot of fear thoughts and it was like nonstop. And even when I try to fight it, like the visual like clowns I was telling you about, like randomly at night when I was scared to go outside real quick and stuff like that. And I just felt like somebody was watching me like at different points in time, but like not in a paranoid way. It was just like an intuition feeling like someone was around me. There was nobody there. And like I kept telling myself, nobody's there. What are you doing? Why do you keep having this fear that somebody's there? There is nobody there. You've never had this before. What's going on? And I really thought that I was just going insane. And I
I hear
didn't
that.
know where it was coming from. And it was just odd because nobody in my life really noticed it, except for maybe just me being depressed and stuff like that, because I didn't want to talk about it. Because it was usually when you talk about that stuff, people look at you sideways.
No, no, that's when you get things like diagnosis and the real trouble starts for you, you know?
Right. And then it gets worse and they want to, just put you in therapy or put you in all these things that aren't going to do anything for you but make you worse. I'm not going to say therapy's bad because there are some therapies are very good, but there are some therapies like certain types of medications that are just terrible for you and they don't do any good. They just pause it and don't help you get through it. Any like mental issues and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally. What was your diagnosis after all that anyway? Like, were you ever diagnosed with something?
No, I was kind of doing self-diagnosis,
Good
But
move.
when I was younger, I was diagnosed with, depression, anxiety. Well, actually, I think it was severe anxiety. I was always afraid to do things. And I always wanted to go hide away. I always just felt like, I think this because I didn't see myself as the person that other people saw me as. I started to like hide myself away and felt like I was just not worth it.
Ouch. Ouch.
Yeah,
No, that's
it's
and
not funny,
how do you
but
feel now anyway? Like, are you feel like in regards to that, like how are you feeling about the rest of the world?
I feel positive. I mean, a lot of actually positive things have happened since the session. Like today I just got a text from my recruiter for this job I've been wanting. And they're like, "Oh, the position's open." And then I was like, "Yeah, like it was just about an hour before this.
Oh,
It
winner.
was the position that I actually wanted because right before our session, I also got a text an hour before our session saying that a job offer was available, but it was for something else that I didn't want to do. So I misread the text.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, just exciting opportunities. I feel like nothing can hold me back. I don't feel anything attached to my back and pulling me backwards.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So here's a question, right? Did your ma tell you what the session would be about? And what was your impression
No.
before? She didn't say anything about it.
No, she she was like kind of just like, oh, it's just a healing session, you know, like how we usually would do, like when we've done sessions before together or something like that. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. I didn't really think anything of it just because I trust my mom,
Fair enough.
as
Fair
most
enough.
people do. And um I think it was about maybe 10 minutes before the session, she was like, oh, you know, he does, you know, exorcisms and stuff like that. And I kind of like looked at her like, oh, she's joking with me. She's just joking. She's just trying to scare me. And I didn't really think anything of it, but I kind of I could tell she was being truthful in a way.
You're right.
So a
And how would you?
little bit, but not fully.
Yeah. Okay. So like, yeah, no, the word exorcism freaks out just about everybody, and I'm willing to
Yeah.
guess, that you never thought it would apply to you.
I'm not gonna say that's true. I actually very recently, and I think in about the past about a year before I moved over to this area, and then a year after that, so about 2 years apart, it was like I could feel something and an energy literally like, no, I'm not gonna say oscillating because it wasn't oscillating. It was like a deep humid fog like coming around my back. And I felt like could hear it mechanically moving back and moving forward, and I could feel it. It was like a fog cloud. That's what it felt like to me. It was like a fog cloud, and it freaked me out. But I would just keep telling myself in my head, "It's okay. Everything in light, love, and truth. Everything's good. Just go to sleep. Like it's fine." But like deep down, I knew something was not right. I just didn't really know what to do about it because I felt like maybe I was just being crazy.
Yeah. Well, look, and I think everybody has that experience. You know, they have this handful
Yeah.
of things where they made contact with it, but they had no idea what was going on. You know, and looking back, they go, "Oh, right, that's what it was." No, and I hear about that all the time, actually. And here's the real kicker. Here's the real question. Like, how would you describe? How intense would you describe the process of being exercised as? Like when you did your session with me, how big of what was it like?
Well, I'd say it wasn't like intense as in like when you see the movies, because the movies is nothing even close to what was happening. It is in a sense, but it's not how they acted out. And I think it was emotionally very, very triggering and intense because all those emotions that I was feeling that weren't mine were coming to the surface, and I was feel them because you were confronting them. And so it was just a lot. And usually I am always so used to when I have emotions, I like to hide them away. I
Yeah,
don't like to show them. So it was very hard for me to allow any type of emotion to come forward. You might be able to tell on my face that I was trying to
yeah,
hold back, but at, as it kept going on, I allowed it to move forward. And I think that's when we kind of connected visually with each other in the same, we kind of saw the same stuff.
yeah, yeah. Totally. It's like it's a phenomenon that nobody goes near. Really, everybody's you know, I call it the orthodox positivity crowd, and they're just not interested in confronting darkness. When really, in your case, it was the best thing we could have done.
Right. It was, yeah, exactly. I would say to anybody, don't let it scare you. It's not what you think it is.
Thank
It's
you.
actually going to help you. If you're having issues, just do it. You feel like if there's something deep down in your heart and you feel like you need this, don't be afraid to do it. No one's going to judge you because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you feel better. It's about you.
Yeah, yeah, and like how much, and like if your, let's say your very best healing session in the world was a 10, like the very best healing session you've ever had, how would you score this one?
A 10,
Yeah,
definite 10 because it changed my life. It's
yeah,
like I don't even know. why I would score it any lower, because it's just, it changed it. Yeah, like we said, it changed my life. I can never go back to that. And that's what's great, because I was definitely suffering.
Wow. Wow. Everything you're saying is music to my ears. And it actually, like, hearing this stuff, I don't always get to hear this story, right? But it actually,
Right.
it's what keeps me going, because
Right.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, nobody encourages you to do exorcisms. In fact, they think nobody cheers you on. Everybody looks at you funny. But it's
Yeah.
but yeah, what else would you want to say about, like, I do have a question, right? And it's a phenomenon that I'm still testing out, right? But are you going through your memories at the moment? Like, for the last week, are you remembering stuff that you did years ago and you're going through your memories? And is your
Yeah.
attitude towards them changing?
Yes, but it's funny you ask that. It's because like the way I'm a visual person,
Mm-hmm.
so I usually just see things in visual ways, and I have a hard time explaining them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but my memories, especially like even before the session, I was having them, but I was having them, and I was like trying to like stop them. I don't want to see this. Like I don't want to see this. But now I'm having them, and I'm kind of just allowing it to play through
Mm-hmm.
and being like, all right, well, I gotta forgive myself. It's the only way I'll get over it. Or we'll keep coming back to this, and I don't want to repeat the same thing in my head over and over again.
Yeah, no, this is one of the things. Instead of getting into those negative loops, it sounds like you found the circuit breaker, and you're off doing something different and fresh.
Yeah, I'm trying to, definitely trying to.
No, look, and this is like the echo effect of this healing, might be a good word for it.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, the joy keeps going. You
Exactly.
it's a healing that just keeps giving. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We love it. We love it. Is there anything
Well,
else?
I want to share too from an
Go for it,
observer
Sandra.
point of
Yeah.
view. And the reason why I wanted to share this is because, I've seen this in this child since early on. And as a healer and an advocate for healing, I've run the gamut with her,
Mm-hmm.
going in and out of all kinds of things. And you happen to come into my life at a time when you said a few things that just rung such bells for me. And it happened to coincide with the fact that I'm flying across the country to see her.
Yeah.
And we have our session. So I am literally physically present to observe. Now, that morning, I saw the sabotage begin. She couldn't get out of bed. The skin was burning. She was exhausted. I could recognize what was happening. So I just kept working with my guides, being calm. I even messaged you and said, I think we're going to have to douse her a little bit with some more love. And then just before the session, I was trying to get her to tune in with me, and she was fidgety and all over the place and trying to avoid everything. And then when she got into the session with you, I stayed close by just so I could be physically grounding, as you know. And as she was bringing all that up, but then afterwards, her pupils were different, her skin was different, facial expressions were different. Now, I should have known, I should have been quiet and not inside. There was galloping horses on a stampede to joy, because I've been trying to find this place in her for 30 years. And any parent who has a child that suffers, you just don't, the angst just makes you just want to cry all the time, because you just can't get this door to open. And I'm going to cry. So
Me too, almost.
no,
I'm on the verge as well. Like,
yeah, so seeing this in her afterwards, I should have known to be quiet, because she was processing. And she got a little irritated, like Mom, stop, like, because she knew things exited, and yet she was trying to feel herself. But what was most amazing was I stayed quiet for the rest of the day. The next day we went hiking, and she said to me, Mom, I can see 6 months to a year from now. And I said, okay. And she's like, I've never seen that before. I've never been able to see the future, like be optimistic to how I could be 6 months. I can see myself someplace
That's a bit
6
cool.
months to a year from now. And I made a couple notes because she was busy processing and I'm busy trying to write some things down because I wanted to remind her how awesome this is. And so then after that she said to me, she was smoking and I've been on her case and she doesn't want to smoke. Every time she got to smoke, she goes, I don't even like the taste of this anymore. This is so gross. Let's go for a walk. Let's go do something. Let's go out somewhere. And she's a procrastinator. She does not, if she doesn't want to do something, she will find every excuse in the world not to get out the door. Well, she was out the door before me. She's ready to go. But something that was very profound that she said to me a few days later was, she said at the end of the session, she felt like two steel doors on the top of her head opened, and that her crown, I was seeing it as she was saying it just felt like this weight lifted and now energy is actually flowing. Now, she's not explained a whole lot to me. I try to pull information out of her. I'm hearing more from her today than I've heard, which is just, I feel so blessed. I've been crying for 2 days because I've been overwhelmed and then I've been away from her and I'm like, oh, I got to get her on this so she can talk to Alobar. I've got to do this, and I'm like, no PTSD. She's already taken the plunge and made the commitment to allow this to process from your session. She calls you Al Bazaar.
I didn't know how to pronounce it.
She kept saying Al Bazaar, and I go Alobar, and she goes, it's Al Bazaar. I said, like, he's a magician.
No. You walk a day in my shoes. It is a bizarre thing, man. Like it.
But I didn't even think about it like that. I was thinking there's a song called Alba's. I can't remember what it's exactly called. It says Albazar or Ambazar or something like that. But when I was little, I used to hear music and I'd hear it the wrong way. I'd start singing the wrong lyrics.
It's all good.
I want to say something else too. I've known that there has been attachments there, and she knows how many healers we've gone to work on implant removal and how much work I've done on her and so forth. I have been praying and waiting for the day where I could meet my daughter again for the first time. And I mean that. And I met her this past week while I was there for the first time. And I had to tell her it was such a pleasure to meet her again in this moment, because she was everything that I always thought she could be, but there was just this albatrosses around her and on her, and I had to add an S to that.
That's
exactly and they're like, and then now she's like so wise. She's like, well, now, Mom, it's your turn. It's your turn, Mom.
Oh, well, look, let's line that up for next week then. Let's see how that goes.
I just thought it'd be a good idea, because if she does have anything holding her back, I want her to feel as good as I'm feeling.
Oh, look, and no, like, I don't have people lining up at the door just yet, saying,
you will.
I need an exorcism. That's exactly what I need. Like, people are not saying that to me. Right?
No, not at all. I don't think anyone really thinks that.
No, nobody thinks it's their problem, but from what I'm finding, everybody has some kind of consciousness infection like this.
Yeah.
I also
because it's happening because there's nobody policing this. These things are running free, they're running riot, they do whatever they want, and people spend their whole lives fighting them without knowing what the hell they are. It's an can I say an epidemic, a pandemic without like?
Yes, you can.
Can I say that?
Yeah,
it is an epidemic. It's much more of an epidemic than people even realize. It's more powerful than viruses are. And if you know anything about viruses, they're insanely intelligent.
Yeah, I'll look at these guys. These guys
get smarter.
Yeah, no, and these guys, they've got their bag of tricks and they've been doing them forever, and they haven't had to upgrade. They haven't had to increase their skill set because nobody's out there tackling them. Nobody. as far as I can tell.
Well,
And
I think we
there is
should,
a point that I want to make that that makes my work different from everybody else's, right? Everybody talks about these spirits that I call them parasite spirits. They've also been called negative entities, attachments, Klingons,
Yeah.
pain bodies. Eckhart Tolle got famous with that one. But he's actually describing these parasite spirits. I call them type 1. For serious mental health issues, you go after type 2. For serious life sabotage issues, you go after type 3. And I was reading this ancient Chinese longevity text. And one of the things they mentioned is that there's 5 entry points that these guys use into the human system. And I'm on top of all of them. Like, you know, it's whatever people need to get back to a clear head. Like, I've got the keys for that. Like, there's like, and
Yeah, you do. You
there are
definitely
no
do.
other, yeah, no, and there are, yeah, like, and you're talking from experience, but nobody else in the spiritual milieu is talking about this stuff. Everybody's always about love and light. Let's go talk to Archangel Michael and find something positive that he's got to say, or Galactic Federation of Light and see what they've got to say. Actually, humanity's problem is this. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know,
No
and
one wants to bring up the negative or the shadow parts of it, or like this, the dirty things they have to go through. No one wants to bring that up because they want everyone else to see them as a bright, bubbly, spiritual, great person. But really, no one's that person. You're always it's a balance. You're dark and you're light. It's just how it is.
Well, look, you know, your happiness and joy is actually a byproduct of clearing all of your shadow. Once all your shadow's gone, you can't be sad anymore. You can't be depressed. Like, it's not possible.
Right.
You don't have to force the happiness. It just occurs naturally, as you may well be experiencing, Casey.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that.
Yeah. Like, so spirituality is not about forcing the happiness or forcing the joy or pushing for forgiveness in every situation when you really just want to wring somebody's neck. All right. Once the demons are gone, the happiness just flows without any effort. It's really cool.
oh, I know, I
mean,
told
I
Casey after the session, I said, we want to make exorcism a household word. We want to make it a household word. We
Yeah,
want to make
I was
exorcism
trying
a
to think of a
household
different name
word
for it.
because this is untapped territory. This is territory of hide in the closet. You know, in my work,
spirituality's dirty little secret.
it is. In my
Yeah.
work, when I go visually, like in with somebody, I can see things attached, but I work on the person increasing their light and their awareness and all that. I've never had this kind of experience watching this or the experience of having to cast anyone out. But the work that you're doing, it needs to be, it needs to run rampant. It just does. And I'm going to make sure it does. Because I told her, I said, I already knew it ahead of time intuitively that I was going to be a mouthpiece for this.
Thanks, sweetie. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Yeah. Like, I'm curious to see how we edit this together because, like, without being funny about it, like from start to finish, this interview is gold.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
This is, I couldn't.
I did want to add something in.
Yep.
I don't think I mentioned it before the session and stuff like that. The first 2 years when I had moved over here, I just felt like I couldn't wake up. I felt like I was always asleep. I was sleepy. I never wanted to go. Well, I didn't really have much to do, but at the same, because of COVID and everything, but at the same time, I just felt like I was a brick, like in water, just down, and I couldn't get up, and I couldn't stop sleeping. And then food became one of my favorite things, like because food, movies, stuff like that. And then as COVID cleared up, I couldn't get out of the cycle, but also I didn't realize all the demons I had attached to me as well. I felt like something was there, but I didn't fully know all of that. So I really just want to thank you.
Look, it's a total pleasure. Look, you know, call me up sometime and tell me how awesome your life is, you know, like, so call me up. I love those calls. Just don't forget to
And
do that at some point.
I also had a question for you. I wanted to know, how do these demons start? How do they get attached to you? What happens? Are you born with it, or do they
Okay.
find you during life?
A lot of them are reincarnated with you.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of them, not all of them. The conditions for them to jump across are specialized. So it's kind of different if you're talking about type 1, 2, 3, 4. Like they're a little bit different, but I'll say a few things. You have to be open. So either in bed with somebody, or having a really deep and meaningful with somebody. You have to be producing the same emotion at the same time. So let's say, you know, it's 4 o'clock in the morning and we've had a big night and I'm going, oh, I'm so sad. My life, you know, like, you know, I feel a great emptiness. Okay. Just as an example, I feel a great emptiness. And your friend is sitting there next to you, sympathizing, go, yes, I know the great emptiness. Yes, I do. That's the moment that they jump across. When you're stimulating that emotion and they're stimulating that emotion, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're probably both high. So, no, seriously, your protection fields, your natural auric protection is a bit wonky.
That makes a
and
lot
they can
of
jump
sense.
through. And so, you know, you go to I've been to raves and I've just watched fields of them, armies of the little.
I used to go to a lot of them.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I
Long time.
know, like they were the only people who were talking about spirituality, but like, you know, not
but
very many of them were actually doing it, you know, like, just before I left, my friend who I knew from the Doofs, he turned around to me and goes, you know, I'm just leaving the Doofs, but there's only you and one other person who I think have got anything positive to say, anything useful to say. And so I just want to know, what are you doing differently to anybody else? And I go, you know, all those meditation courses you do? He goes, yeah. Well, I go home and I do the meditations afterwards. And
you actually do it.
I actually do it. Is that it? Yeah, that's the whole thing. If you do that, you'll be all right. And he was kind of stunned, and he came back to me. As I asked my other friend, the only other person I thought was any good at the festivals, and they said they did exactly the same thing. And I go, well, off you go, mate. and he's working as a coach now because he went out and he did all that meditation. You know, last time I saw him, he was talking about it.
Awesome.
It's the secrets are only useful if you use them. The tools the meditation's only going to make you a stronger person if you do it. Just like your gym equipment is only going to make you fitter if you actually go out there and pick it up.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't just stare at it.
Yeah, exactly.
And, get all the equipment and leave it in the corner.
Hey, look, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. It's just really popular to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have one more question. Because what you just said about when you connect with someone on the same kind of emotion. What about for empaths? Because I'm an empath and I feel people's emotions very strongly a lot.
Oh yeah, like yeah, be careful.
Okay.
I look, sympathy. I'm not actually a big fan of sympathy. I actually don't think it. Like it's. I'm going to hurt people's feelings if I say this. Okay, so sympathy, right? Okay, so here's what it is. Sympathy. Here's the turd in my emotions. Here's the crappy feeling I have. And sympathy. I'm going to give it to you, and I want you to feel it. I want you to understand how crappy it is. And then I run. Okay, once it's in your hands, I'm out of there, right? And then that person has to deal with the crappy emotion.
Exactly. I'm trying to learn more so now that I feel better. To cut it off, like kind of put not like a wall, but a friendly fence, up, and like if I don't feel that the person would be somebody I would want to connect with on a friendship level, then the fence stays closed.
Yeah, like, yeah, that's
Isn't
perfect.
open.
Yeah, like open sympathy just makes you a garbage can for other people's emotions.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Like, so, yeah, be careful with it, you know. It's, yeah, but have fun at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, um,
I think I'm hearing techniques on how to work with people after they've had your sessions.
oh, cool. Cool.
Yeah, I'm hearing techniques here. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Hmm.
Well, as a mom, I can't tell you how good it feels. And I just, so many people need this help, but to see this girl look as healthy and clear-eyed and happy, and to spend the rest of my time when I was there, seeing it, I had to work on my own. Oh crap, is the next shoe gonna fall? What's gonna happen? Like, how long is this gonna hold, kind of thing, you know, which is what I've had in the past. And her too, I was saying, now that this is gone, then you have to learn your learned behavior and then change it, because that behavior was adapted through living with all of these dark entities that didn't belong. They were the strings on your puppet. You were the, you know, the movement through that. So now that they're gone, you can't keep up with the same behavior. You're gonna have to work with, hey, that's not me. This is me. Let me tap into my heart and tune in here.
Oh, yeah, and Casey's natural vibration is become more buoyant. Like, without these emotional dead weights, these drongo spirits, like her frequency is currently just rising and rising, and with it, we'll
I can feel it.
yeah,
I can definitely feel that.
yeah. Like, I do see you clearer eyed. I do see you happier. I think in this video we're actually going to have a freeze frame of you last week and this week, just for the fun of it.
Oh, yeah, that would be really
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, your frequency is becoming more buoyant, and your behaviors will change. A lot of behaviors will change naturally, you know, like you'll
yeah.
just feel differently. Like, you'll always benefit from healing through, you know, some of the more challenging moments of your life, you know, but I'm going to guess that a lot of things right now you're resolving in your own head just naturally, like you were talking about it before. Like, you know, instead of getting into that spiral, that loop, that negative emotion loop, you're finding new outs for it, which is like, yeah, and you can expect that to keep happening. However, like, you know, at some point, like, you know, you'll keep being more buoyant, and then it's time to start meditating to keep that buoyancy going, to keep that lift up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's my 2 cents on the whole thing anyway. Like, yeah. So
Yeah.
come do the first month of my training sometime. And I'll give it to you for free, just so you can see how it feels. See what you got to say about it. Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to say one thing is, I know you're going to get this edited. You know, you all were just talking about how two people can have the same emotion, and then that invites these demon entities in. One of the questions Casey asked you right off the bat was, if you remove these, are they going to jump onto my mom? And you said no. And the reason for that was because you were in control of putting them to the fire.
Oh no, yeah, no.
So they no longer had free range. They're like, oh well, hey, let's just get out of her and go on to her. That's similar DNA.
Many years ago, I like when I first discovered this, I went on a spiritual quest to India, right? And and I went to, of all crazy places, an exorcism temple. And like, I would sit there and I would watch. And it's like, you know, as a tourist, you go, they do that? I want to see that, yeah. I'm like, well, I want to see that. Yeah, that's cool. But what I was watching is, I'd watch the demon jump off this guy and then roam across the temple and jump on the next guy. And I was going, wow, what is the point of this? This is a fountain that just, these people are just going to keep giving and giving and giving. The more they come back here, the worse it's going to get.
Scam.
Right? Yeah. Ah, well,
keeps them in business.
They were doing something useful. Like they were trying, but I don't know if they had the technique required to exterminate them, which is what
Right.
everybody wants. And that's something I spend some time perfecting as well, how to exterminate them. Like it's a challenging game because the laws of physics in the astral planes are very, very different. You just can't chop them in half.
Oh, I bet.
I don't die like that. But you know, like I got on top of it, and now like you know, some of those guys, I'm a known person in the demonic world as one of their great enemies. Like it's fucking awesome. That's like, I'm infamous amongst demon kind. It's great.
That's awesome. That is
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's a laugh. It's a laugh. But
Well, thank you so very much.
yeah, no,
I mean,
total pleasure. Total pleasure.
it even though she's had that all of her experiences, for me, it's just lifted so much on
Yeah.
myself as well.
Yeah. Oh, look, I bet all the worries you ever had about your daughter are suddenly gone. Like not completely, but yeah, like
They're going.
well, look,
They're fading.
well, you know, things are going to turn out okay. You know. Yeah. Like you know.
Yeah, no, I'm not worrying as much as I used to. My anxiety's not so high up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Look,
it's looking good.
well, the chances that she finds a good man and makes you some grandkids is like are just increasing on a daily basis, really.
I'm not even like that's not I don't know why. I guess I'm just not that type of person that's ever been worried about that. I'm just kind of more so want to get my feet on the ground and independent, like full on independent, and get my life started the way I've been wanting to. And then that will happen later on.
No, he'll show up at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, girls, love to you. All right.
Love to you too. Thank you
Thank-
so
Yeah,
very
you
much.
too. Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
sharing this with me. Thank you. So what was your name and how old are you?
I'm Casey and I'm 29 years old.
Hi, Casey. Now your ma has gone and done something nice and that she's bought you a session with me.
Hmm.
And
But she surprised me with, I didn't know about it.
all right. Did she tell you what I do?
A little bit, kind of, but not really a full explanation.
Nah, look, most of the time I treat anxiety or depression. You know?
Hmm.
And I'm very, very effective. The thing that makes people shy about working with me is that the way that I do this is exorcism.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, it's easy, it's painless. I've got the technique down, so it's not
I
hard
guess
in
it's
any
just
way.
the name exorcism, and all I think of is churches and the Omen and like all these movies.
Well, just
They
let
put it in
him
your head.
explain it.
Oh no, they started making those movies back in the 70s when Pope John Paul II came into the throne of the Vatican, whatever you call that, into the papacy. First thing he did is he disbanded the exorcist order, the group of exorcists they had working there. And so the very first film was called The Exorcist, and it was one of their case studies. And they made the movie to say, yes, we really need exorcists. And they haven't stopped making movies like that since.
Hmm.
But it doesn't have to be that dramatic, you know. Like the thing about it was like the little girl, her whole head turned in a 360-degree
Yeah.
circle. Yeah, and that freaked everybody out.
And they're
But
tied to the bed with the cross like on their forehead, like stuff like that.
all that craziness. But let's just hope that your head doesn't turn around in a 360-degree
I don't think it will.
all right, but you said you've had depression on and off for a long time.
Yeah.
All right. So the way that I work is that I identify the demon that's most responsible for that.
Hmm.
Now, I'm going to guess that you generally don't hear voices.
No, and when I do, it really scares me.
Yeah, yeah.
It freaks me out.
Oh, look, I know your Ma's here, but you may have heard them when you're really, really high.
Yeah, probably when I was really high, but that's about it.
Okay, so
But you can also tell him that you saw spirits and all kinds of things as a young child.
Well, yeah, but it was never audio. It was never audio.
Right.
There was a lot of it was visual, more intense visuals.
Yeah, right. Okay. These guys can throw all sorts of stuff at you. They're in the system,
Mm-hmm.
and they can plug programs in that you'll see that sort of stuff from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm looking at you, Casey, and I've identified this guy who's living in a set in one of the like I think there's 144 systems in the human body. You know, most of us think of the circulation system, the nervous system, the
Definitely something's in the nervous system. I definitely can feel that.
well, the nervous system is the bridge between 3 and 4D, and so
Mm-hmm.
the bridge between the physical and the spirit world. So the very first place you'll make contact with them is through the nervous system. Do you ever get night terrors? Do you ever wake up frozen to the bed?
Yeah, I have sleep paralysis sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
Where I'm like literally in trying to wake myself up, but I can't. It feels like something's holding me down.
And
I can't get up.
that's exactly what's happening. These guys in your dreams, they'll take you by the hand, they'll lead you to a dimension or a realm that really provokes a lot of fear in you.
Mm-hmm.
And then when your body's producing that fear, they plug into it and once your body's producing 100% fear, then they're in 100% contact with your nervous system. So when you wake up, you don't have control of your nervous system. They do, because they're the ones who are using it.
That makes sense. It's probably why I feel that way I do when I wake up.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's quite a bit of work to gain control of any part of your body. You know?
Right. Especially if you don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, no, this culture just refuses to use the D word. They just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that's what makes this a little bit avant-garde, we'll say.
Harder. Yeah.
Well, we're all on board totally. And I was explaining to Casey, you know, where you're going to talk about this next week on the show, because I think it's an issue with many, many people, and they need help. They need your help.
Oh, look, all mental health issues are caused by demonic interference. And I'll say that again. All mental health issues are caused by demonic interference. There is,
Mm-hmm.
in my work, I cannot be clearer about it. And, you'll be on medications for most of your life, or you'll spend 10 years in therapy, and it doesn't necessarily resolve the issue completely, because you're debating or arguing or trying to chemically block a very voracious and tenacious actor.
Right. And usually the medication has stuff in it itself because it's made by man.
Yeah, look, I for legal reasons, I can't say anything more about medication.
Oh.
I don't want to get sued. I don't want to get sued into oblivion.
No, I completely get that.
I'm not qualified to comment on them, but I'm not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I can move out of the way. You two can do your thing. I was just here to introduce and hold space.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get them to talk through Casey's mouth, which they sometimes do. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's.
I'm right here, honey.
Yeah. So we've caught you. Yes, I see you. No, there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, you don't have any anger, or don't seem to have any anger or aggression demons. It's usually the first ones that show up. They're usually the ones that confront me, but this is no, that's the leader. Okay, you.
I can feel it.
Yeah, totally. What are you doing here? You can't keep Casey. Now, you may hear the voice in your head. You may hear words in your head that are not yours. And sometimes they even talk through your mouth. But you understand what we're here to do, don't you? If you hear those words in your head, please just copy them to your mouth.
Oh, say it.
Yeah.
Say it out loud.
Yeah.
It was I think a yes. It's kind of like hard to understand what it's saying because they talk really weird, really slow and weird.
Well, you know what we're here to do, and you know that you have to leave. We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
I think they're saying okay, okay or something.
So you would rather just leave and make this easy?
Yes.
What are you doing in Casey in the first place? What are you here for?
I just keep hearing I don't know, but I don't know if it's like me saying it or
No, it's okay.
somebody
That's
else.
okay. All right. So this one's probably a bit and here's a good question. What emotions do you give to Casey? What are you giving to her?
Fear, sadness, fear, sadness.
Mhm.
It's more so when you say stuff, I feel like a burning sensation in my chest. I don't know if I want to scream or if I want to cry, but it's not in my throat to where I want to scream. It's more so like right in my chest where I have told her the other day I've been having issues. When I wake up, I feel like something is like hogging my chest, like holding on to it.
Well, it looks like we've found the culprit, you know, and now that I'm here to push him off, he's holding on. You know, he's gripping
Yeah,
with both hands. Isn't? Yep. Okay, so this one's not as talkative as some of them are.
yeah.
All right.
It's a strong feeling. It can give me really strong emotional feeling, but that's about
Yeah,
it.
no,
It's not
that
very talkative.
all right. Well, now I'm gonna call you Joe. Joe, you can leave now. Are you even capable of leaving of your own volition?
I don't hear anything. It's just silence, but I do feel like something is kind of it's like an unwinding kind of feeling from my middle of my chest.
Right. This is okay. So this one, some of these guys are fatalistic. Like they don't even want to exist themselves. Is that the case with you,
Yeah,
Joe?
that's kind of what I feel.
Like
It's
he's
just
so
like,
sad and so pathetic that he just
right, yeah,
rather not
exactly.
be at all. All right. So
Hmm.
Joe, do you need a helping hand? Do you want me to help move you on?
I'm hearing a faint yes.
All right. So I'm going to create a little dimensional boat here. Get in the boat. Make this easy. Yes, that's it. And let go of her chest, man. Let go. Is he saying that I need her?
I heard that I need this. I don't know what it
Well,
is.
you can't take it with you. You have to choose a different existence or this sad, pathetic one that you're going through right now. All right, he's released half of it. Now, do you have anything to say to Casey before you go? Is Casey even a real person to you? Have you even recognized that she's her own being with her own choices and her own mind? Have you even recognized that? No answer to that?
I'm hearing a no.
Yeah, they are that selfish.
Yeah.
They are that selfish. Wouldn't you rather be free, Joe? Wouldn't you rather be free? Yeah, let her go. Should I just burn these little bits off? This little bit? Yeah, okay, I'll do that. You can, yeah, okay. Oh, all right. He wants to, yeah, you fight him, he wants to fight, but when you talk to him. Okay, so let's just, yes, now release. Okay, and take all your stuff with you. Take everything with you. Don't leave any trace in case you just go. Hmm. Okay. Just going to seal that dimension closed, and I'm going to shelve it for the time being. Okay, so he was kind of giving you the feeling of, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I want to move forward, but I don't know which way to go. I don't know what's important. I don't know if I want to move left or right. Like, and just confusion and inaction.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And it was like every time I went to go move forward, and I started to get a little bit forward and closer to something that I felt like was going to be starting my life, it was something shut the door and made me turn around. It wasn't even me, it was just something happened and made it all go away. And
Yep.
I'm trying to get back to it, but it's just not happening.
Yeah, no, like well, it kind of works like this. Let's say you create you have a plan to, I don't know, plant 1,000 trees, rebuild a car, change jobs, travel to a different location, whatever the thing is, whatever the project is, right? As soon as you put energy and thought into that, those guys can't wait to crush it and eat it.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, usually these guys travel in packs, traveling like a group. And I'm seeing at least 7 more in there. Now, I don't think you're a crazy person. I think you're actually quite normal, Casey. I don't think this is really a no, like
No, I'm saying thank you.
no, for the audience, like for people to come to terms with the idea that you can carry 8 demons and still appear normal is weird.
Right.
All right, but I just
I
want to
think you
make the
think of
point.
it like that.
I think most of us are. I think anywhere from 5 to 15 is considered normal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and these are just personality foibles that's how we understand them, you know.
Right. Like a lot of times I've noticed, and I was looking up on Google, like, what is wrong with me? Like maybe and then I got anxiety, but that's what came up on Google. But what I keep getting is like at nighttime, especially at nighttime, I'll go outside, or I'll think somebody's staring at me through the window. And I'm like, why am I having this fear? Like I've never had this before. What is going on? The past 2 years has been happening. Every time I go outside, my brain starts to like visually show me like clowns. There's just stuff like I don't like,
No,
stuff you don't want to be looking at. And it starts to freak me out. So I'll run inside and be freaked out and
oh God,
afraid to go outside, but there's nobody out there. And
yeah,
so I'm like
no,
arguing with myself.
oh wow, okay. So
Yeah.
the word for that is agoraphobia. It's like fear of wide spaces, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's that. It was just like I felt like somebody was there, like
Well, look,
around, like
and now that and I'm sure it had not didn't make sense. There was no context
yeah,
for it
no, not at all.
until this conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so many people go through it. So many. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but
Um,
they don't want to talk about it because they feel like people are going to judge them and stuff like that, which I felt like too. I felt like I couldn't really tell her much of it 'cause sometimes like she looks at me like, because in my past I've done some stupid stuff like get messed up, and she's like, "Oh, well, you're getting messed up," so I didn't want to tell her really
no,
what was going
that's
on.
just your 20s. Like your 20s are full of that kind of
Yeah,
stuff, like, I'm going to find out where all the landmines are in life by stepping on them. That's how I'm going to do it. That's
yeah,
your 20s,
exactly.
right? All right. So we've still got a bunch of other punks in there. Who's the most
Mhm.
aggressive? Who's the fighter in there? Yeah, you come out. Yeah, Oh, yeah, he doesn't. What are you doing here?
I can't understand it. Talks in some type of different language. I hear something, but it's
Yep.
really faint. It's hard to talk because I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Okay, who wants to come to the front of the personality right now? Who's the most, yeah, okay. This one's a lot bigger and a lot slower, I'm going to say. What do you want? Who are you? What do you want? Actually, I'm going to call you Pete. What are you doing here, Pete? Yes, this is a big moment. Talk.
I hear something like, I want to keep her down, tie her down, something like that. I
Mhm.
don't,
You want to keep Casey trapped, do you?
yeah.
Why?
Something about potential, I don't know. I keep hearing potential, 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 like over and over.
Let's imagine that she reaches her potential, is she suddenly dangerous to you in that scenario?
Yes. I don't know. It was a long thing they said. I just don't know what it was. I didn't
Okay.
know it had something to do with the yes. Yes, you're
All right.
correct.
So would she, if her potential was reached, would she no longer be a food source for you?
I'm getting a yes and no.
Okay. What was the best moment of Casey's life? The one that you enjoyed the most? What was the thing that happened with Casey that you absolutely loved?
Her overdosing and almost dying.
I really don't like you, buddy. And you were part of that story. You led her to that outcome. You were part of that.
Yeah.
All right. Now, have you got any last words? I see you in 11 of 18 layers of consciousness, and I'm going to start burning you up now. You're talking to Alcoholics Anonymous management here. I used to be in that. I used to be what's called a central service office secretary, which is it's an important job in that club.
Yeah,
But
isn't that like when you like put together the meetings and stuff like that?
well, yeah. Well, the people who put together the meetings lean on you for support to make it work. All of them do, or most of them do, and also you hold it together as an international charity. You do a lot of that work. Yeah. So I used to do that. But the reason I got into mysticism, I'm burning it as we speak. But the reason I
I
got
can
into,
feel it. I can feel it. My
yeah,
whole body's starting to sweat.
excellent. Yeah. No, that's how I got to this kind of work. Because, oh, wow. Yeah, because this is when I joined that club, it was very important for me to, I figured out that they don't have the solution, the complete solution, but they have a lot of it. And
Right.
I did this work. I learned how to do this in order to fill in that gap. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah,
That's a good thing though. I mean,
it's pretty wild, eh?
yeah,
Yeah, but
it's starting, my body's starting to kind of cool down a little bit. It's
when he's
not as
losing his,
heating up.
yeah, no, look, and they do things like heating you up, cooling you down, giving you
Yeah, I thought that something
tingles and
was,
prickles and all sorts of little inconveniences like sweating,
yeah,
stuff
I
like that.
get those a lot. I get that a lot, especially right when we moved here. Exactly when we moved here. It was nonstop. I'd be turning the AC up. And the person I live with is like, it's freezing in here. And I'm like, I'm sweating so bad. Like, I can't stop sweating. And it's like winter.
Yeah, wow. Wow. Yeah, no, it's they're actually like a lot weaker than the movies would depict, but they actually can apply constant pressure.
Yeah, that's like when I was
Gentle,
just telling her this
constant.
morning. When I wake up, I feel like my whole chest just has like, I just want to like, I want to do some stretches to open up my chest, like my rib cage and stuff, because it's like, I just feel like something's like holding my chest
Oh,
down.
come on. You're a 29-year-old girl. Yoga is your friend.
I know
Yoga
exactly. I
is
just like
exactly what it is for you. Like,
it was like hard for me to breathe, and I really thought I was having health issues. I didn't understand what was going on, but then
no,
I had my blood done and everything was normal. I didn't know it was,
these guys are interfering with the software that runs your lungs.
Okay.
So like, you
That
know,
makes
like there's
sense.
softwares in every part of the body. Like there's a software that tells your heart how many times to beat in a minute, when to speed up, when to slow down, what sequence
Right.
of muscles to contract in order to create a beat. And
Right.
you
It's
know,
all in a
yeah, yeah.
rhythm and
And
a
it's the same for your
sequence.
lung. Yeah, all of it, all of it. Yeah. And this guy, where's this guy at? He's probably down to about 25% of his original mass. Have you got anything you want to say to Casey? Come on, Pete. You got anything you want to say to Casey?
Something about dying. Go die. I don't know. He's kind of a dick.
They are. They are. All right. And have you got anything you want to say to me?
And I just keep hearing the word die. I don't know.
Ah,
I don't know if it's
well, you know, it's fine. And have you got any last words that we should remember you by, Pete?
the same thing. This time I heard death instead of die. I don't know if it's
That's all
like
right.
the way they speak or what.
Well, your wish will be fulfilled. You will experience death. Oh, okay. And now that's him. That's him. Good, gone.
I felt that.
Awesome.
That was interesting. I felt like kind of like a I guess I had the way I can explain it is like a fog kind of just like lifted through me and like left.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it sounded like a mechanical sound. It was weird, like a machine. And I've heard those sounds before, so it kind of freaked me out.
Okay. So it means he's probably part of a hierarchy, and I'll go chase that down after this session, because it's like just me sitting there staring into space. That's me. That's just not that
Yeah, no,
exciting.
I figured that.
As far as video goes, it's not that exciting.
Right. There's not
But
much you can do.
no. Oh well, I'm excited for you. Like
I
without the,
am too.
yeah, look, yeah. There's still 6 more that we can see, and some other. Usually, the super depressed ones are lying down and they don't pop their head
That
up for
makes
nothing. They don't
sense.
get out of bed no matter what's happening.
And that's because they don't want me to go be active, so they want me to feel sluggish. That's probably why.
Yeah,
That's what
totally,
I'm guessing.
totally. Yeah. Oh, look, I think you go be a yoga bunny. You'll love it. Girls
Yeah,
your
I
age,
used to like yoga.
girls
I
your
used to
age, it's
like it.
just a match made in heaven.
Yeah. I like that picture or the tapestry behind you. It's pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, eh? Like, it really struck me when I went into the shop. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's nice. I like the colors and the design.
thanks. Thanks. Who's next? Which one of these guys is next? All right, I got one that says pick me, pick me. What do you need, mate? What is it that you give to Casey? What's your gift?
Delusions? Illusions?
Okay.
Delusions, something like that.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. And so, okay. So, what sort of illusions are you creating for her? Are they like freestanding hallucinations?
No, I think it's the visual ones I keep seeing in my head that I
Oh.
think is about to happen.
Yeah, naturally. Like, I usually give it a last run up the flagpole. And what are you aiming towards here when you do this with Casey? When you put these crazy visions in her head? Where do you want the story to
So
go?
she thinks she's psychotic, something like that.
So, so that
Something about
you
psychotic.
think you're psychotic.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, isn't it? No, got a lot
Yeah.
of that. Yeah, okay. And what do you get
So
out
that she keeps her self in herself. Like
No.
I
So
guess
if you've got psychotic thoughts, you don't go and visit the psychologist because they just might put you in a straitjacket. And so you
exactly.
can't tell anybody. Yeah, and you said it earlier. You can't tell anybody this stuff.
Mhm.
And that whole concept is the gift from, I'm going to call this one Jane. So Jane, now that your illusions have been seen through, is there anything you want to say?
Something about suffering. I hope you suffer. I hope she suffers. I don't know. These
You,
guys
you,
are mean.
yeah, no, they're idiots, eh? So you just hope that everybody suffers. Is that your gift to the world?
Yes.
Have you tried suffering?
I don't feel anything.
Okay. Well, okay. Then what's your? I'm just going to start. I'm going to start burning you now.
I think that's the reason why when you called it forward, I couldn't feel it. Maybe they don't feel anything, so that's why I'm not feeling it.
No. Some of them. Oh, there's this beautiful emotion called numbness.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, numbness. When you're on the astral planes, it's almost like a see-through jelly. You can't see it. It has no color. It also has no feeling, and it's like it's a
Yeah.
hard enough thing to detect.
Hmm.
Oh. Once you can detect it, it's healable, but it's not one that we. No, it's not like a childhood trauma. You don't see it so obviously.
Right.
Yeah. So, and with numbness usually comes a feeling of distance from the world. Like there's a little bit of a glass wall between you and the rest of the world, and
Hmm.
yeah, you totally get that. Yep. But you've got this guy who's just producing it all the time.
Yeah. It keeps I guess they're the ones that was projecting the false image of myself that I was seeing. And I've struggled with that my whole life. Like I used to always feel like when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see myself, and then my friends would see a different. They'd be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful, blah 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 blah. Like you're so funny, you're great." And I just didn't understand. I didn't see it at all. And they call it body dysmorphia, I guess, is a mental issue. But
Okay,
I
yeah.
think that's what this person was for. That's
So
what this guy was for.
I'm not up with all the latest lingo, but is that something like bulimia or anorexia or something like that?
It's close to it. It's just not with the where
It's in
you
that it's in that
it's in
family.
that range. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
but you're
okay.
not like throwing up or starving yourself. You're visually just not seeing it. You see different versions. You see yourself, say you're really skinny, and you see yourself as fat in the mirror
Yeah,
instead.
yeah, you're 2 pounds overweight, and that's all you can concentrate on. Yeah.
Right, yeah,
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 I get you.
exactly.
I get you. No, I actually had that. It's not fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people do have it. They're talking about it a lot more recently, like online and stuff. Kids are talking about it more.
Well, now we know where it comes from. You know.
Yeah.
Like this is the source. This is one of the sources of it. Oh, okay. There's about 30% of this guy of Jane left.
I notice when you're burning them, I start to see flashback memories of what they've done to me. So that's
Oh no.
interesting.
Here's a great question. What was your happiest moment, Jane, with Casey? What was the event in her life that you loved the most?
I think what I was just talking about with the seeing
Yeah,
myself
okay.
differently in the mirror. Yeah.
Yeah, no, just looking in the mirror and hating yourself because
Yeah.
because it creates suffering because those things want
Yeah. Just
suffering. Yeah.
like visually distorting my vision of what I'm actually seeing of myself.
Yeah, what a great contribution.
Right. I thought
Yeah,
something was wrong with my eyes. I
yeah,
had
no.
vision issues.
have you got anything that you want to say to Casey before you go?
I'm just hearing the word no.
What about me?
Something about hell. Go to hell. I don't know.
I love annoying these guys. I love it. And any last words that you want to be remembered by?
I don't think so. I just hear delusion again.
Wow. Okay. Almost done.
You okay? Okay.
Oh.
I'm
Oh,
just
look,
I started to worry to make sure I don't want like anything that's on me to go to her. Like
no,
when
look, and
you're
uh,
burning them like and they're gone, right? Okay.
this.
Okay.
No, look, extermination is the only correct answer.
Okay, good.
I actually when I first got into this, I went over to India on a spiritual quest to find the answers, right? And I
Mhm.
went to, of all places, an exorcism temple.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was pretty bizarre. And like they'd pull them off people, and I watched one. He jumped off this guy, ran across the temple, and jumped onto that guy. And that was,
Yeah,
and it's
that's what
like
they like to do.
these guys. Oh, I go, these priests have got like a business that just lasts forever, don't they?
They got
It's-
major codependency issues. They have
yeah.
to be attached to you.
I think you got the answer right. They've got major codependency issues. Who's next?
Yeah.
Which one's next? You. Yes, you. Step forward. You're it. What are you doing here? What emotions are you here for? What are you creating for Casey?
It's got a weird voice. It's like, I don't know. I guess like
Stop being a pussy. Come on.
I guess
Oh, are
make
you
me
her
hide
indecision?
away from everything.
Are you her indecision?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Do you think you're codependent?
What I feel is like my mind going this way, like back and forth, back and
All
forth, back and
right.
forth. That's definitely indecisiveness.
Okay. Do I feel that? Yes, no, yes, no. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. All right. Look, there's no point in talking to you because you can't. You can't.
Can't make a decision.
Well, you can't be firm on anything you say. Yeah, and I'm willing to bet sometimes, Casey, you go, oh yes, I would like that. No, but no, I wouldn't. But yes, but no, like
All the time.
All right.
She drives her crazy. I guess I'm ready, and then I'm doing something else.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, this one's not a big one. This one's only 4 out of 18 layers of consciousness that it's inhabiting.
Yeah, I could feel that well, at least my visual is showing me like it's like tiny, pretty tiny. Looks like a slug,
Yeah,
but a
yeah,
little bigger than a slug, but it looks like a slug.
it's slug shaped. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's like it's got like brown and yellow skin, like a bit of a snake.
yeah, it's
Yeah, okay.
kind of like gross.
Snake.
It reminds me of Men in Black. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I've
The
seen
Men
them
in
all.
Black
Yeah,
movie?
oh, yeah, they're great. Oh, do you want to hear something really funny?
Mm.
The Russians actually have a department of their military called Men in Black.
Oh, really?
Yes, you
I
know what
thought that it was maybe true.
No, it's a real thing. And on
Oh,
the
wow.
first day of the Russian presidency, they have to hand the president a briefcase, updating the situation, the exopolitical situation. So all the dealings with aliens, who's on the ground, who's got a base where, and what
Oh, wow.
relations are with them. Like it's like a full brief on exopolitics. And
Oh, that's awesome. That's kind of cool.
oh no, but you see what that movie's all about. Like it's about
Yeah.
the military, sometimes it's a military response, sometimes it's a diplomatic response to the aliens that show up.
Yeah, it's like their own like CIA, like kind of
Yeah, totally.
organization.
Of course they have one, but those guys, as far as I can tell, they only ever appear out of the shadows on that one day of every 5 years or so where the president
Oh, wow.
gets sworn in. Otherwise, they just disappear again. You don't hear from them.
That's
Well,
interesting.
yeah, well, yeah, but Men in Black, it's a real thing. Like, the Americans
That's
made
awesome.
oh, look, yeah, the Americans made a movie about it in fantasy. They say it's in Fantasyland, but it's actually just in Russia.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
And
well,
I
like,
don't know why, but it just makes sense.
well, like I'm going to bet that at least 20 governments have this, at least. Like, we did a mission that actually led to the Japanese government and their exopolitical alliances. And
Oh, wow.
and the Japanese Japan's a non-player in this game, like nobody's concerned about what the Japanese are doing at all.
Right, right.
But they have a program. They're in contact with other species. They're doing it as a technology exchange, a body exchange,
Right.
the whole lot.
It's kind of like, we kind of have to be in a way. It's because we have to live with ourselves, and it's not like we can just keep thinking, oh, there's nobody else around, it's just us.
No,
There's
it's not.
definitely other things. How are
It's
we
nonsense.
able to exist if something else doesn't exist? It just doesn't make sense.
Oh, look, the probabilities are just make it feel impossible.
Yeah.
But they also the men. I did see one publication from the American Men in Black, which was
Oh,
the
really?
yeah. They had it's for their special forces, and it's a photographic list of all of the aliens that they've logged, and there was like something shy of 80 different aliens, right?
Wow.
80 different types, and the point of the thing is who to shoot and who not to shoot. If you see those guys shoot, and if
Oh,
you
like
see
who's
these
like
guys don't,
benevolent and who's malevolent
who are
kind
our
of thing.
friends and who aren't. Like,
Yeah.
but like that was on YouTube actually for a while.
I have something saved on my YouTube playlist that's of all the alien races, but it's like kind of like more so an animated, like animated picture of what are supposed to look like, but of like
Yeah,
Draco and the Syrians and all that type of stuff.
yeah, no,
But
it's
there's only
wild,
like
isn't it?
15 of them.
Yeah, well, look, and those are the ones who have some of those species just show up to have a look around and then leave. They're not here to stay. But those 15 are the exopolitical players. They're the ones
Right.
who's who are important. Like the US relationship with Trinidad and Tobago is not important at all. Right.
Right.
But so it's not going to appear on the short list of important countries.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it's a little bit off topic, but
It's okay.
so look, this guy, you got any last words?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, bye. Okay. Now, I'm going to offer you guys the boat out of here. There's 4 of them left. I'm going to provide, yep. Yeah, you guys, I want you to go and get everybody else who's hiding, yep. And I'll send you to a different location. You're the spokesperson. What are you saying? You talk. Yep, you.
I hear like this. Okay. And like I just feel like something scurrying around trying to find stuff. Like that's
Yeah,
what I
no,
feel.
because well, look, like after this little demonstration, they're all scared witless of me. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So look, put everybody in this boat. Put everybody. Yeah, Mr. Depression. Yes, the blob.
It's funny because like right before you say it, I see it. I saw a big blob that like had like it just looks like all flubber kind of.
Totally. So blob, get the blob in the boat.
Yeah, so he needs help in. He can't get it himself.
Like, he's so flaccid. He's so,
Yeah,
like, he can't
he's like,
actually,
he seems like he's really heavy. Like,
I know, and almost liquid at the same time.
hmm
So, it's like picking up diarrhea. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, but it's solid, and it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's gross.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if I chop him in half, we can get half in there pretty easy. And then see if we can get the other half to glom up. There you go, to match up with him. Ooh. What day of the week is it over there?
It's Thursday.
Wow. With Mr. Depression gone, with this dead weight.
I feel like a part of like my back, like right where like your spine starts and your hip is, like I just feel like this like heavy stuff, and it's kind of like lifting. It's interesting.
Yeah, no, look,
It's like lifting away slow. It's slow, but it's lifting.
wow. Oh, well, look, without being funny about it, I'm excited for you and what happens for you next. Like like when you get used to not carrying all this emotional dead weight, what happens for
Right.
you over the next month is actually really exciting. I'm excited for
I
you.
know,
It's
I'm
going to be
excited.
cool.
Today I just got this morning I woke up and had a job offer actually. So
Oh, cool.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah. But
So this is very
but
exciting.
but yeah, look, your ma has to take you dancing tonight with the goal of with the goal of drinking cool cocktails, but also you want to find joy. You want to dance until you find your happiness.
Right. I
Yeah.
used to like to dance. Used to
Yeah.
have me do dance classes. Yeah, I used to love
Yeah.
to dance.
Yeah, yeah, get your boogie on, like find it. Like keep going out on the dance floor until you find it. And when you do find it, like just let it happen until you're exhausted. Because
Yeah.
that, yeah, so find your
We're
joy,
gonna go
make
on a hike
contact.
after this, actually. We're gonna go on a little hike.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
think
That's
we're just gonna
cool.
go on a short hike, but yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, no, it might be tonight. You might go dancing tonight. You might go dancing tomorrow. Because if you're gonna go
Probably
hiking,
tomorrow because it's
yeah,
Friday. Tomorrow's
yeah,
Friday.
yeah. All right. So they all seem to be packing themselves into the boat, which is excellent. Because they're just like anything's better than that.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like there was those main seven, but I see like all these like little ones. It looks like a bunch of little mice, kind of like
Yeah,
they're all in a little pack and they're all like it's kind of really
yeah.
gross.
Little gremlin types. Like it's kind of bizarre.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they're all following them
yeah.
like in their packs or whatever they do.
All right. There is one more thing here. Who is that? You made a pact with some dark being.
I did.
It's happened. It may or may not have been this life. It's not really important. Like
Oh, okay.
all these guys are sealed in the boat and they're taken out of your system. And they're going to shelve them for the time being. Who the hell are you? You can speak through Casey. Do it now.
I keep hearing ringleader,
All
something like
right.
that.
How did you get into Casey? Give her a visual.
What I'm seeing is like I lived in a really moldy apartment for a while, and it was like I guess spores, something like that. It's like mold, like mold spores.
Okay, cool. So
Right.
you are Mr. Mold. Is that who you are?
I keep hearing no. What I'm getting is a visual of some type of like
Are you a minion of Al Ghul? You associated with Al Ghul?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I
that's
feel
cool.
like I know that name, but like I don't know if it's just me thinking that, but I don't feel anything towards it.
He's the god of mold and fermentation
Oh, okay.
and rot. So okay, so who are you? What's your remit? What's your areas of strength?
It's something higher up.
Yeah, no, it's
I
mhm.
I don't know. I feel like I want to say like not reptilian, but like a Draco. I don't know though. I'm like seeing like
It
it's
looks more frog-like than dragon or snake, you know.
yeah. It's more so the skin that I'm kind of seeing. It's a darker color.
All right, so you have this single opportunity, Frogmouth, to release Casey. Are you going to do it?
I don't know. I'm not hearing anything or feeling.
Okay.
I just feel like a tight feeling in my chest.
All right, so you're going to hold on, are you? I disavow any claim you have on her. I invalidate any contract you have with her of any type, or any contracts to maintain this contract, or any contracts to maintain those contracts, or any of these duplicate safety contracts. And there we go. Why don't I just,
I'm seeing that I was scared into making this contract.
yeah. No, it's called stepping on your neck until you cry uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's stepping on you until you call them master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you can't take it anymore. So you're just like,
Yeah,
"Bye."
okay, I'm yours then. I'll give myself to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's yeah, I hope that makes sense to you.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. All right, just going to capture him. Oh, he's part of a big organization as well. Not alien.
What is
Yeah.
it?
I'm going to guess it's a genetic mutation that the
I
Drake.
was seeing DNA or hearing some type of DNA, genetic.
Yeah. Like I'm going to say the Dracos are the reptilians. They created a hybrid race and then abandoned it. I think that's who these guys are. They're going like, yep, yeah, we worked on you. Like it's like a you rebuild a car and then you decide I don't want it anyway. Like I'm not that into it, so they just let it go. Just released it into the wild. You know, they created something that was weaker than them and they didn't need it, so off you go.
Yeah. I think they were called blue bloods or something like that. It was in Egypt. I don't know if that's correct, but
Well, why doesn't this one tell us something about Egypt?
it like something like cut off. Like I could see what it was doing or trying to explain to me, and then it was like a cord just kind of got snapped and it
Oh,
shut
why
off.
don't these guys don't want to? You don't want to be on Earth anymore, do you guys?
They're stuck here.
Would you
Something
like
like
to
that.
go somewhere else?
They don't know if they're allowed to.
Well, who's the number one goose here? Who's the number one frogman? Yeah, they were created on Earth, but they're regarded as a mistake or like like when you get version 1 of a game, but there's version 0.7 or version 0.8 as they kind of start to get the software right. That's what they are.
Yeah, yeah. There's always bugs and like viruses and all sorts of stuff wrong with it.
Yeah.
And that's why you never buy a software at first. You wait for a couple months and then you buy it.
Yeah. For them for somebody else to find the mistakes. Yeah.
hmm
So is there a planet in this galaxy that will accept you?
I'm getting a yes. And it's like something with an R. I don't know. It's
Is that
like
a
why.
Rigel? Is it Rigel?
Rye something, Raya. So I don't know.
Doesn't
I'm
really
just getting
matter.
the first
Doesn't
part.
really matter, right? Okay, because all right. So there's a few. I can open a gate and send you to this location. I can see the place you're talking about. It's not Rigel. It doesn't have the Rigel sun.
It says like an RY and a RAA, something like that. Like Raya, right? Something.
Lyra.
No, it has an R in it.
Okay. Well, and it really doesn't matter. It's really not
Yeah.
important. There are a few conditions. You'll have to drop every single contract with every single human and other Earthling. You'll have to completely disconnect from this planet. There are diplomats from this other planet who are here, who are in the story right now. They're aware of this potential. Yeah, you're talking to them. Is this yes? Okay.
Yeah, they're just not sure. I guess they don't even, I feel like they don't even know who their leader is. Like, I don't know if they even have one anymore.
All right. Well, you can't stay here on Earth. Like you're
I
not.
think I feel like they're okay with doing it.
All right. Have you completed your disconnection from all the Earthlings you're connected to? Do that before I open these gates. Yeah, they just hate it here.
Yeah, no wonder they do what they do.
Oh, it's there's two kinds of beings. Like there's beings who are fountains or like perpetual motion machines, and us humans are one
Yeah,
of them.
I think I know what you're talking about. I've
And the other
seen
one,
them and I've heard them.
and the other one's a death spiral. Like, and the only thing that prevents them from collapsing on themselves is the constant feeding off of
Yeah,
perpetual motion
that makes
machines.
sense.
Yeah, and these guys don't want to do that. They don't mind doing it. It's just that they don't think this is a good place for them to be. So
They have a lot of
all of the
enemies. They have a
humans.
lot of enemies.
Yeah, and
That's what this
they'll
is.
have just as many on the other side, but they'll have some fresh tricks up their sleeve. There'll be a different.
Right. I don't think they're gonna harm anybody anymore. It's what I feel like I heard.
Well, that's that. Yeah, okay, that's excellent. Okay, and open that portal, and all of you. I'm gonna bomb these dimensions once you leave. So there's nothing. Not point in leaving anything. Oh, they're starting. They're off. Ugh. Oh, you should just see their food stores. They just sent that's disgusting. What they
Yeah,
regard as food. Yeah.
I definitely did see that a little bit. It was really gross.
Yeah, totally. But we just have to filter out all of the coding that should stay on Earth. All of the material that should stay here. That creates a connection between us and them in the future. Okay, it's about 75, 80% done. Keep going. Yeah, no point in these pocket dimensions are a waste of time, guys. There you go. Open them all up and let it out. Because I'm gonna crash all of these dimensions or everything, so you got nothing to come back to, and all of everything I find will be destroyed. So don't stay here. Go with them. You're much safer.
I'm like, I don't know if it's them or me saying this. I was like, I don't think they deserve to be safe.
Well, look. Okay, so one of these. There's probably about 10,000 of them. I'm guessing. One of these guys is got a curse relationship with you. And I'm
That makes
assuming,
sense.
well, that's what that pact is. It's like it's an agreement to extract all of the energy that it needs from you. And I'm going to leap to the conclusion that I can actually say for sure that that particular one had connection to 9 other people. So it was holding 10 humans down, 10,000 with an average of 10,000 of these guys each holding a bunch of people down is just not good for anyone. So
Yeah, I
and-
know.
yeah, it's better that they go, and if they got it, whatever they want to do, they can go do it on some other planet that's a lower frequency than this.
Right.
It's probably the safest thing for them to do to see when you imagine what's coming in the future.
Yeah.
And it gives our enemies one more problem to solve amongst themselves, you know, one more faction to contend with amongst themselves, which I'm totally fine with. Saves us having to do it.
Yeah. And maybe they'll, decide to be on our side. I don't know. I don't really want that
Oh,
to happen.
oh look, they're
I
unpleasant.
suppose
They're unpleasant
I'm so
now, but
angry a little bit.
well, oh look, I'm past trying to heal beings to that place.
Right.
I'm
No,
just over it.
exactly.
I'm over it. Like, you've had, squillions of years to get it right, and you still can't do it. So
Mhm.
get out of here. Okay. That looks like the major parts of your system cleared.
Yeah, you know what? The buzzing, my tinnitus went away.
It's a nice side effect, isn't it?
That's
Um,
like I don't like I hear it a little bit, like, but it's super faint, but usually it's like I hear roaring like all the time, nonstop. And sometimes
yeah.
it gets really bad. It depends on my mood, but usually it's very distracting.
Yeah. Look, it can be damn messy, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, look, this is, this is. I'm curious to hear from you in a week or so to hear what's happened. But these are not the Klingons. These are not what guys call negative entities. This is a different group of spirits, So I want to see just what happens, what direction your life takes as a result of this work.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
yeah. It is. It
Thank
is.
you
I
so
want to hear
much.
all
I
about it.
appreciate it.
Total pleasure.
I really appreciate it. That was an interesting experience.
Thank you. I could
Yeah.
feel it.
Well,
It was all great.